Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to implement our check-in. This feature is available on our impact plan. First thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and create an event. So I have one created here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Okay, so here I am in my event. If I go to my setting, you can see that I've already clicked Enable Check-in. So that's what enables people to check in for this event. And you can set a time when the check-in will start. So you can set it for some number of minutes before the actual start time of the event or before the start time of specific time spots. So for example, if you have an event that's just going from 9 until noon and everyone's going to check in at 9, that would be 15 minutes before the start time of 9 a.m. But if you have, for an example, an event that's going from, say, 4 p.m. until midnight, and you've got 2-hour shifts in between, then the check-ins will start at 4 p.m. and then 15 minutes before any other time spots that you've set. So if it's every 2 hours, you have time spots, for example, then 15 minutes before 4 o'clock, 15 minutes before 6 o'clock, 15 minutes before 8 o'clock, etc. People can check in. Okay, and here's your QR code. You'll want to download that QR code, and then you can either print it out and have it on printed material at your check-in station, or you can paste it into a web page and have that web page display for people to scan it with their phones when they arrive, or you can do both. Now, when it's time to check in, as we said, you can have that QR code all ready to go on printed material or on some other device at your check-in station, perhaps an iPad where you've pasted it into a web page that you have visible, and the volunteers will scan their QR code and check in. So that's super easy. But you also may want to check in people manually. So when it comes time to check in, and if you're on site to check them in, you can scroll down, as you can see here, and we see that it's check-in time. So I can just check in any of these people as they come in, and you can see this is an associated time with them. And then if they come back out, let's say they get a call from home, need to go pick up a child from school or something like that, then you could check them out and you can check them back in again. So that will all be reflected then in your check-in tab up above here. So if I go back to my check-ins tab, and again, this is in progress right now. So we have this date, June 9th, and we scroll down, we see all of these have already ended, but this one is active, which we can see here. And again, all of the names are here with the email addresses. We just have them blurred out, but you can see that person's checked in, that person's checked in, and we can see that that one person I checked out. And then after the completion of that time frame from 6:30 to 8:30, we'll see those actual duration versus the scheduled time here in our stats. One other thing worth noting here, if the check-ins are not enabled, then you will not see this button here. Okay, so just to show you, if I refresh, notice that it's no longer visible. And then if I check it again and refresh, you can see that it's visible again. Okay, so let's go back to our event page. So here we are on the event page again, and we can scroll down here and let's take a look at today. And we can see that people were signed up for these spots, but we don't see any check-in information here. And that is just the way it should be because the time has already passed for this particular date and event. So we would not see any ability to edit anything on this particular page. This is where you're going to manage your check-ins and see who's checked in and who's checked out. A couple of things to note here. You'll see that they're separated by the dates, and then you'll see the individual time spots if there are individual time spots, which there are in this case. So this one is for June 9th, and we can see the 9 to 10 slot there, and here we see the 2:30 to 4 p.m. slot. And down here we can see past dates and check-ins, check-outs. In each of these blurred areas, that's where you'll see the name of the person and their email address in each of these cases. So if we notice here, we see that we know it's past 4 p.m. This is ended, but someone didn't check out. So what we can do, if you've got a long list of folks, one of the things we can do is come to here and we can see that that's where this check-in is. If there were several of them, so we wouldn't have to do them individually. We can just click here and force checkout. So the easiest way is to just come in here and hit force checkout. Alternatively, by hand here. So I click force checkout. It pops all the users from the selected time spot to check out on this date. Now, another thing I can do is I can click force checkout all, and that would check out everyone for this date. And the same thing goes for here for this date. And you can see that there's some accounting for check-ins for if someone's checked in and checked out more than once. You can see that here. And I would also note there's a lot of information. So one of the things that you can do is just scroll left and right here to see any additional information. And that's it. Thanks for watching.